Hello guys, this is Stereographers. In today's tutorial, we are going to take a walk through Photoshop. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to Stereographers channel. Today we are going to tour through Photoshop. With Photoshop, there is no limit to your editing. We are going to start out with tools and let's jump into the Photoshop tutorial. Let me begin by opening a picture I downloaded from Pixabay. I will leave the link in the description box below. It looks a bit disturbing, but everything has been grouped down into layers. Now let's go through different overviews of Photoshop. Now with Photoshop we have our tools, our palette, our option bar and our menu bar, and we have the work area. So this is the interface for Photoshop. So when you open Photoshop, so that is the tools you're going to use, and these are the palettes. From there we go to the option bar and then the menu bar. So we are going to use this for Photoshop from beginner up to advanced. We are just going to learn how to use them effectively, and some are common and maybe some we may never use some, but it depends on what you want to use Photoshop for. If you want to use Photoshop for flyer making, picture editing and picture, now let's begin for the tools for basic editing. Now for the tools we have move, and the shortcut for move is V. Then from move we move on to marquee tool, and this shortcut is M. You move on to lasso, L. Object selection, that is W. Crop for cropping pictures. Then we have eyedropper for selecting colors. Spot healing for healing spots. Brush for painting. Chrome stamp for healing spots too. Eraser. Then we have gradient, blur. Then we have dodge tool, pen tool for selection. We have text tool for typing. Then we have path selection tool for selecting path. Then we have shapes for drawing shapes. Then we have hand tool when you are in full mode. And we have the zoom and have the default background and foreground switcher, and that's the background. You have the quick mask layout. Now the active tool is the zoom tool, so you can hold down the alt key to zoom in and zoom out. That is what. So basically the most commonly used tools is the pen tool, the text tool. Now let's go to the advanced palette. Now that's the histogram. So when I click on it, it will show me the colors of my picture. You see that the picture don't have one color balance, so when the colors are down on the left, you see that the color is more white. When it is up on the right, it is more black. And these are some of the palettes you'll be using. We have path, we have history, we have properties, then you have layer, the navigator. So this layout is I set it up purposely for this tutorial. Now that you can go to Windows and select and add new layers to a new palette to it. Now I just added the character palette for graphics and text. Let's say you are working on graphics and text, you'll be using more of text and picture, so you work around using more text and paragraph. So you have to set your text and paragraph well. Now that's the alignment, and you can change font, everything down here. We have a tutorial on this complete, so come back and check for it. Now you can combine two layers together by just clicking and then dragging it into it, and you can switch it back to where you want to it. So when you switch, you notice that there is a bar there. Now let's save this workspace as, okay, go to window workspace, then you select, let's type the name of this worksheet. Let's call it graphics and text, because let's say we made it purposely for graphics and text. So graphics and text. After that, you can set keyboard shortcut and all those stuff, but for this tutorial, let's just save it and continue. Okay, so now we are done. Let's move on to the option bar. Okay, before you go to option bar, you can browse through workspace by clicking on the button, that button up there. You see what we save is up there. You can go to motion painting. So these are default workspace for you. Now let's get back to our essential. Okay, before we move on, let's talk about something else. Let's move on to the next one. So let me add the path and the channel to the layer, because most of the times these three goes together. So all this, you can add more layers, you can add more palettes from the window, and then that is the slider. If you don't want to use the zoom tool, you can use that one to slide in and out, and that one is for the text. I think I have thought about that one. Okay, so let me add these two things together. So you just click and drag it there. So you just click and drag it. It's very simple. Yes, it does that. So layers, channel, and then the path. Now let's talk about option bar. Now if you notice very carefully, you will see that whenever I selected the 2, when we're in phase 1, when I selected 2, the bar there will change. So now we are on the move to. So this is the option bar for move to. So if I change from, or I select a different tool, that bar will change. From move to, let's select the market tool. You see it has changed. So if I select another tool, it will change. So it changes to the property of that tool. So any tool you select, the property of that tool will come to the option bar. And when you right click on a certain tool, I think all the tools have 2 or 3 layers there. So when you right click on it, you see that. So that one, on the move to, we have the artboard as parts of the move to. We can explore and see, but we make a video full one on tools. Today you are just going to tour, you are just looking through. So if you right click, you see we have different tools under one. So let's see, if you have a move to, you have another tool under move to, and you can check it all out. I'm just pointing out a few. Okay, now let's continue, and let's go to layers. Layers is one thing that make Photoshop very effective and very powerful. Like I can add something to my layer, and let it sit up on it. Maybe if I found it in the future that I don't like it, I'll just delete it or hide it. Now I've selected the exterior part of the dog using the quick selection tool. Then I'll create a new layer. From there, I'll just pick my brush tool and then change the color to black, and let's see how it works. So I will paint through with black. If you want to change the thickness, you will come there. So we are just going to talk. So you see how you can just add it, and if I decide that I don't like this effect, I can go and toggle it out. So in and out without doing any harm to the real picture. So this is what makes Photoshop very, very powerful tool. Now let's go to the menu system. So the menu system, you will start from file where savings are done. All our files are being saved through the file menu. So you talk a lot about all this. So you can save your project or you can export. You have many options here. You can place and all those. You can do all these things using the file menu. Then you go to the edit. So you will talk more about it. But for this tutorial, I have not done anything massive, so there's nothing to show. So image, the moves and the adjustments and all those stuff. So this is for the professional photo everything. And we make a full video on the menu system again, but this is for. So once again, you just go to layers, you see some of the menus under the layers. So you can explore it, but we make a full video on layers in the future. So from layers, you go to type. Type has a very essential tools to play, so we come back to it. When you have selection, you can select or deselect. So we have all our selections are found under here. Then the next one, that one too, we will come back and talk about it. Then you have the 3D, then the window, the view. The view is where all files are found. All files are found. Let's say I want to add a new guide, and the window is where all the palettes are being hidden. So if you are looking for a palette, you do not find it, you can come and find it here. And you can also save your workspace here. So all these are palettes that has been hidden, so you can just click on it to reveal it. If you don't like it, you can hide it or you can close it as you wish you want it to be. Now this is the help. So that one to be there. Thanks for walking through Photoshop with me, and if you find this video very interesting for you, consider subscribing.